Some tough talk from Tehran today after the Iranian government announced that they've amassed more low-enriched uranium that was permitted under the 2015 nuclear deal. Nuke watchdogs say it's Iran's first major violation of the pact since the United States pulled out of the deal last year. And President Trump chimed in today. Watch.
They know what they're doing. They know what they're playing with. And I think they're playing with fire. So no message to Iran whatsoever.
I'm ignoring you. The nuclear game of chicken is making waves on the world stage, of course, with officials in France, Britain, and Germany vowing a strong diplomatic response if Iran violates more terms of the deal. The White House said today it would continue to wage a maximum pressure campaign until officials in Tehran alter their course of behavior. But are the president's sanctions smackdowns working, or is it time to ask the bartender for something a little stronger? Joining me tonight, Director of Foreign Policy Studies at the Cato Institute and co-author of the upcoming book, Fuel to the Fire, How Trump Made America's Broken Foreign Policy Even Worse, John Glaser is here. Welcome, John.
Thanks for having me.
So let's discuss a little bit about this. What is fueling Iran's most recent tantrums?
Well, nobody should be too surprised that Iran has chosen to exceed the limit on its uranium stockpile. I mean, the Trump administration has essentially been using economic warfare and threats of military action as punishment for Iran's full compliance with one of the most robust and rigorous non-proliferation agreements ever negotiated. So they made big sacrifices in rolling back their nuclear program, and in return, Trump backed out of the deal and denied Iran the benefits that they were supposed to get as a result of compliance. So this is kind of a predictable response.
I mean, the problem is, and why the negotiation was upside down was they got so much on the front end as opposed to after verifiability and international inspections could take place, particularly the spontaneous variety, which are so critical for a nuclear-powered regime like that. And, you know, I guess my question to you is,
I'm not sure what you mean by they got the front end. What's often referred to as
they got a lot of money up front.
Yeah, so that cash is actually a part of a separate deal back from 1979 when they tried to purchase weapons, and we didn't give them the money for them. So those were frozen Iranian assets that we unfroze.
I understand that was a technicality that was used for rationalization for the pallets of cash. However, you know, when you talk about the $150 billion that was accessible to them to fund organizations like Hezbollah, okay, I got to tell you this. I don't think the nuclear deal was very good, and I also don't think sanctions do a lot. I think sanctions end up hurting the people that they aim to help. And so authoritarian regimes will somehow find ways through the black market and other bad actors to get exactly what they need, which is usually guns to suppress the people who are starving.
Yeah, so the approach that we've taken with sanctions has essentially made the Iranian people suffer and empowered and enriched the worst kind of leaders in Iran. You're absolutely true. Yeah, that's absolutely right. And the Trump administration's expectation that harsh sanctions will lead to the Iranian people revolting against their government goes against every bit of history we have about these things.
Yeah, okay, and that's something I want to ask you about because, and this is something that I have posed to hawks who support the administration and other Republican administrations. How do you expect people in Venezuela and Iran to rise up when they can't eat? I mean, when they're physically not strong enough and they're losing weight up to 20% of their average body weight because of starvation. So, you know, I don't understand what the tipping point is supposed to be. And I've yet to agree with someone who says that sanctions are working.
Yeah, so they are working in the sense that they're harming the Iranian economy big time and making people suffer. But they're not working in changing the Iranian government's policies. So maximum pressure. I mean, Obama's diplomacy got Iran to give up 98% of its stockpile of enriched uranium, 2/3 of its operating centrifuges.
How do we know that? That's like Michael Moore saying that everyone in Cuba has great health care. It's like they're going to tell you that.
No, I'm sorry. The IAEA is in Iran almost every day. They've done more than one inspection per day since the Iranian deal was signed in 2015. They are in there all the time. They publish assessments of the extent to which Iran is complying with the deal. And up until today, they have complied fully. So they've complied with the deal. They got rid of all that material. Every bit of their program has been watched. And now they've decided to break it and violate it and ratchet up tensions.
Yes, and they bought every child a puppy and a magical unicorn that members of Hezbollah flew away on to Cloud Cuckoo Land because they no longer exist either. I think a lot of your statements are incredibly naive. I agree with you that we should have some nonviolent approach to the Middle East that doesn't involve a lot of U.S. involvement. But if you want to make that argument with a little bit more factual basis, I will be all ears, John Glaser. Thank you very much. We are out of time. I don't know if we got 1 second. Okay, go ahead. 1 second, you go ahead. I just heard someone swear in my ear. I don't know who it was. Coming up, critics slamming Kamala Harris. See, and now it's him again. I don't know what to do.